Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to our principal in charge Neelam Nadkar ma'am, my respected faculties and my dear students. Today we are here to celebrate National Tourism Day 2022. Okay, now the Tourism Day in India is celebrated on 25th of January. Okay, and this is celebrated to mark the importance of tourism in the Indian economy. It is believed that more than 7% of the total GDP comes from this sector. So it's a very important sector for the national GDP. Okay, most of the jobs, okay, a good amount of jobs comes from this sector. It is believed that more than 10% of the total job, both in formal and informal sector, actually comes from tourism sector. Okay, this gives a lot of jobs in the informal sector. So there are a lot of jobs which are not directly related, but comes through the tourism sector. Okay, so if one place is developed because of tourism, the whole ecosystem, the area around get jobs and people get employment because of tourism. Okay, so the transportation, the shops around, so a lot of people get jobs because of the tourism sector. There are a lot of countries, or there are a lot of states in India like Kerala, like Northeast, like Himachal Pradesh, like Goa, are very much dependent on the tourism, both inbound and outbound tourism. So initially when India got freedom, there are not much department to help the tourism sector. So in 1948, government thought the potential of this tourism sector. So they started with this tourism traffic committee, and we started in 1948. So in 1948 itself, the offices were set in Mumbai and Delhi. Okay, and after 3 years, that is 1951, the offices were set in Chennai and Kolkata. So initially that started, and in 1958 there was a full-fledged department which was set up of tourism, and that was under the Ministry of Tourism and Communication. So that's how this started. So today we are know the potential of tourism. So there are a lot of things which are lined up. So when we got this assignment, so first thing we asked ourselves what to do. Okay, so we decided to do something that we know the best. We chefs know the best, that is cooking. Okay, and so we tried to concentrate on our own cuisine, that is Maharashtrian cuisine. Now, when we talk about Maharashtrian cuisine, it is so huge. Okay, it is so vast, it is so comprehensive. So giving justice to this cuisine was a big task for us. Okay, so there were 3 chefs who were assigned to do this work. There was Chef Amol, Chef Manoj, and Chef Ankit. Okay, incidentally, Chef Amol and Chef Ankit, they have also been to Bhubaneswar to showcase our cuisine to Orissa. Okay, so they went to Orissa and they showcased our food. They made food over there. So they have good knowledge of Maharashtrian food. And when we tried compiling the menu, we thought of not sticking to very common things like varan bhat, batareji bhaji, or puran poli, or srikhand. Then we decided to take something which is not very popular, or we decided on something with community based. Okay, community based food is not very highlighted in India. Okay, so Maharashtra, as you know, is a huge state, is the 3rd largest state in India. So Maharashtra had many regions, and every region had different cuisines. So we have regions like Khandesh, we have Marathwada, we have Vidarbha, we have Konkan, we have Kolhapur, we have Puneri cuisine. So we have a lot of cuisines. So getting the 5 or 6 products from that was a huge task. So we tried to incorporate something which is not very popular. Okay, which is not very popular outside, so that we can showcase our cuisine. Okay, so totally we have made 5 things, and we'll be looking at the video. The first thing we have made is Gobi se bhanore. Then we made kala mutton. Then there is rodge with aloo and wanga. then the Jawasuki Chutney, and finally for the sweet there is sirole with aniras. So the first video we'll see is Cabbage Bhanore. Now Cabbage Bhanore is from CKP community. Okay, when we talk about CKP, CKP is a community. The full form of CKP, Chandrasenia Caste Prabhu. Okay. Now, why Chandrasenia? Because they consider themselves from the descendant of King Chandrasen from Ayodhya. So they basically were Kshatriyas who came and settled in Maharashtra and Goa, some part of Maharashtra and Goa. A very popular cuisine, and they have a very peculiar kind of making food. Okay, when we talk about Indian cuisine or Maharashtrian cuisine or any cuisine for that matter, we try to ignore the community cuisine, but community cuisine has a very strong influence, has a very rich culture and cuisine. Okay, so we decided to take even the cuisine of the food. So there are many cuisines in Maharashtra or in Mumbai itself. There are CKP, there are GSB, they are Maharashtra, they are Maratha, they are Brahmin. All have different style of making food. So in the CKP for Cabbage Bhanore that you'll see in the video, it's basically made with cabbage, okay, with certain kind of masala and salt, and then it's cooked on tawa and then it's cut and served. So I'll just share my screen.
Hello everyone, my name is Chef Manoj Satve. I'm a part of food production faculty at IHM Mumbai. On the occasion of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, we are starting with some traditional Maharashtrian dishes which are predominantly made by CKP community. CKP community is predominantly found in Goa and Maharashtra. We are starting with today's dish is Cabbage Bhanore. The predominant ingredient is cabbage, but also can be replaced by carrot or any other seasonal vegetables. So let's start with the recipe.
These are the ingredients for the Cabbage Bhanore. We'll be starting off by chopping the cabbage. The cabbage has to be chopped up very, very finely. We are first shredding the cabbage thinly, and then we'll be chopping up the cabbage. You can either chop the cabbage this way, or you can even grate the cabbage using a grater. The idea is that the cabbage has to be cut into small pieces so that when you add salt to it, the juices or the water from the cabbage comes out. That is the reason why we have to chop finely as possible. Once the cabbage is chopped up, we'll transfer the cabbage into a bowl or a vessel, and we'll start by adding the spices to the cabbage. To the cabbage, we'll first add in some grated coconut. You can also add coconut milk to this preparation instead of adding grated coconut. If you are adding coconut milk, it will be the thick extract of coconut milk, followed by the green chilies, green coriander, then some garam masala and some finely chopped onions. The proportion of the onions is very less as compared to the cabbage. Now we are adding turmeric powder, some garam masala powder, hing or asafoetida, salt, and we are adding some red chili powder to the mixture. After adding these spices, we are going to combine everything together by using our hands. We are actually squeezing out the water from the cabbage and the onions. We are not going to add any extra water to this mixture. The water which oozes out of the cabbage and the onions will take only enough besan or gram flour so that that water will get absorbed by it. We are not going to add any extra water. The water has come out. Now we will be adding in some rice flour. This is again fine rice flour, followed by some gram flour or besan. The quantity of the gram flour or besan will depend on the amount of water that oozes out of the cabbage. It may vary in different instances. The mixture should form a ball. It should represent like a very loose dough. So we'll keep on adding the gram flour as much is required. All the while we are squeezing out the mixture so that all the water gets incorporated into the gram flour. Also, the salt which has been added to the mixture will ensure that the water oozes out from the cabbage. And because we are touching the food with our bare hands, that's why we have worn a glove over here. This is how the mixture should look like. Now to cook the mixture, we have taken a non-stick pan over here and we are adding some oil into the non-stick pan. Swirl the oil around so that the pan gets evenly coated with the layer of oil. And then we'll put this bhanola mixture into the pan. We are going to flatten out this mixture using your hands. That's why we are still using gloves in our hands. Make a ball out of the mixture and then place this ball into the pan. And then we are going to flatten it out. The mixture should be 2 inches thick. We are going to flatten it out using your palms. We are going to wet your hands with water so that the mixture becomes uniformly thick. If the mixture is not of uniform thickness, parts of it will remain uncooked, whereas other parts will get completely overcooked. Here we are just shaping up the bhanola. Again, thing of essence over here is that the bhanola should be of uniform thickness. Now we'll cover the vessel and allow it to cook from one side. It will take anywhere between 2 to 3 minutes for the bottom side to cook. Once the bottom side of the bhanola is cooked, you have to flip it over. For this, we are going to slide the bhanola onto a plate and then we are going to flip it over into the pan again. We are going to flip the pan over the plate and the other side of the bhanola goes on the bottom of the pan. And we are going to cook the bhanola this way. Another 2 minutes on the other side, and this is how your cooked bhanola should look like. We'll gently slide off the bhanola onto a plate or a service platter. Then the bhanola will be transferred onto a chopping board and we'll cut the bhanola into the ideal shapes or the desired shapes. You can either cut it into wedges or you can cut them into squares or you can cut them into diamonds. Bhanola can be consumed as an appetizer or as more often it is consumed during the tea time as a snack along with the tea. This is how it is served.
Thank you, Chef Manoj and Chef Amol, for the beautiful recipe. So that recipe was from CKP community. And the next product you'll be looking at is Kara Mutton, and that is from Khandes region of Maharashtra. Now, Khandes region is of northwestern region of Maharashtra. The major cities in Khandes region are Dhure, Nandurbar, Jalgaon, and Bhusawal. Okay, so these are some of the prominent city of, and this is quite close to Madhya Pradesh. Okay, now this part does not get much of rains. Okay, so even the crops you find are different kind of grains. You'll not find lot of lot of wheat over here. So even the same thing is seen in the food of Khandesi region. Okay, so the next thing you'll be looking at is Kara Mutton. Now, Kara Mutton, as the name suggests, the color of the gravy will be black or dark brown in color. Okay, so I'll just share my screen.
Please give us a minute till we figure out the technical issues.
Sorry, there was some problem with the screen sharing. I share it again, the kara mutton.
Hello everyone, I am Amol Balkavade. I am a faculty in the Food Processing Department at IHM Mumbai. On the occasion of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, we at the college are recreating a few traditional Maharashtrian dishes. The dish which I am going to showcase today is Kala Mutton. Kala Mutton, as the name suggests, is black mutton curry. And the black color over here is obtained by char grilling or roasting dry coconut and onion over charcoal or over open flame. This preparation is slightly spicy because we are going to use chilies in two forms. We are going to use green chili as well as the bedgi chili, which is a spicy variety of chili. This preparation is found all over the state of Maharashtra, but predominantly in the Khandesh region of Maharashtra. This dish is usually had with jawar bhakri or plain boiled rice. Now, I will start off with the preparation. So here are the ingredients for the kala mutton. We'll be using mutton along with a lot of spices. We'll be converting the green coriander into a green masala. For that, we are using a combination of green coriander plus green chilies, some ginger and some garlic. The green coriander over here we have stalks of the coriander along with the leaves of the coriander. You have to wash the coriander thoroughly and then roughly chop it up and then grind it to a fine paste. We are going to use this green masala paste for marinating the mutton. To this masala paste, we will be adding in turmeric powder and salt for taste. Along with that, we will also be adding some yogurt. When you are adding yogurt, make sure that the yogurt is properly whisked. I am using a whisk over here to combine the yogurt with all the spices and the green masala. To this green masala paste, we will be adding in the mutton and then we will marinate the mutton at least for an hour. For better results, you can even marinate the mutton overnight. While the mutton being marinated, the mutton has to be kept in a refrigerator. Make sure that the mutton is evenly coated in the green masala paste. The more time the mutton spends in this masala paste, better will be the flavor of your dish. And the color of the dish will also improve if you use this particular masala paste. Now, to cook the mutton, we have taken a heavy bottom pan and we have added oil to the pan. Again, we are using excess oil over here because the oil will form a tarri or a layer of oil on top of your cooked mutton gravy. The base of this mutton is going to be chopped red onion. So, we are going to brown the onions properly. The onions over here are finely chopped. It also matters how well you chop the onions. If the onions are not chopped properly or evenly, they will not brown properly. The idea is that by the time the mutton is cooked, the onions will be completely disintegrated. Once the onions turn golden brown in color, Then we'll be adding in the marinated mutton which has been brought down to room temperature. You cannot just take the mutton out of the refrigerator and directly put it in the pot of brown onions. If you do that, what will happen is the mutton will start oozing out a lot of water, which is not required, neither it is desired. So the mutton will be first brought down to room temperature, and only then we will add in the mutton to the brown onions. We will sear the mutton in this hot mixture for a few minutes, and once the mutton starts oozing out its own water, then we will add in some extra water, additional water to the pot, and will cover the vessel and will allow the mutton to cook. Now depending on the quality of the mutton will take anywhere between half an hour to cook properly. The quality of the mutton depends on the size of the goat. If the goat is small, the mutton will cook fast. If you have a larger animal, the mutton will take long time to cook. If the mutton is not cooking properly, you can also use a pressure cooker for cooking the mutton. Now we'll cover the vessel and allow the mutton to cook. It will take anywhere between half an hour to 1 hour for the mutton to cook. Now we are going to prepare a spice mix, a special spice mix for preparing this particular preparation. We are using cloves, some star anise, peppercorns, along with some black cardamom, which is also known as badyan. We are using some cinnamon sticks, along with some nak kesher. Now this is a very unique spice which is used especially in the southern part of India in various dishes, followed by mace, which is also known as javitri, and some bay leaf. Now we are going to roast these spices. If you are preparing this particular dish or this particular spice mix in bulk, each spice would have been individually dry roasted. Why? Because each spice requires different amount of time for it to cook. In this particular instance, what we have done is we have taken the harder spices depending on the texture, consistency of the spice. We have taken the harder spices. In this case, we took the peppercorn, we took the cinnamon. These are the hard spices. We added them first into the pot because they require more time for the flavors to come out, followed by the lighter spices like bay leaf, coriander seeds. The amount of coriander seeds that we add to this particular masala mix or spice mix is more as compared to any other spice. Coriander is a mild flavored spice, so that's why the proportion of coriander is much more as compared to other spices. We are going to dry roast these spices very well. When you are dry roasting the spices, you have to keep in mind that the flame has to be at a medium. If you try dry roasting spices on a high flame, the spices will burn before the aroma or the flavors of the spices can come out. So this step is absolutely essential. Adding in some white sesame seeds, which are also known as til seeds. We are going to cook these til seeds. An indication that the til seeds are done is that they begin to pop. They start popping out of the pan. We are going to keep on mixing the masalas together so that they do not get overcooked and they do not burn. Now in the briefing I told you that we are adding the spicy variety of chili, which is the bedgi variety of chili. Bedgi is a spicy variety of chili. It is much more spicier than your Kashmiri red chili. It is known for its spiciness. You can use any other spicy chili as well. You can use the Guntur chili as well. Here we are using the locally available bedgi chili. Dry roast the chilies well, and then we will allow the mixture to cool down and then grind it to a very fine powder. So there is no need to be in a hurry. You can take your time, but the thing of essence is that your masalas should not burn. Keep on turning them around, so that they do not remain in the same spot for a longer period of time. If they remain in the same spot for a long period of time, they are bound to burn. And if the masalas burn, your spice mix will get a burnt flavor, which in turn will make your eventual dish taste bitter. Cooking of spices is never ever advised. Once the masalas are cooked, we will transfer them onto a plate. We will cool them down to room temperature and then we will grind them in the mixer to get a fine powder. Here we are making the kala masala or the black masala, which gives the dish its name. And for the kala masala, the key ingredient is dry coconut. The dry coconut over here, as I said initially, can be charred on charcoal or it can be done on wood fire, or in this case what we are doing is we have kept the piece of dry coconut directly on the burner and we have lighted the burner, switched on the flame. Because the coconut on its own contains a lot of oil, the coconut catches fire, okay, and the outer surface of the coconut starts charring, starts blackening. This is what will give the black color to your masala. Again, it is essential to make sure that the coconut does not completely burn off. If it gets completely burned off, your gravy again will get a bitter flavor. So, controlling the temperature, controlling the cooking degree to which you cook the spices and the coconut is very important over here. The outer surface of the coconut and the onion have to be charred, but from the interior it has to be white. If it is burned from the center as well, your gravy is bound to get a bitter flavor. This is how the coconut will look after you have charred it. I am trying to remove the outer peel of the onion which has burnt off. Keep on turning the onion around so that it gets evenly charred from all the sides. Once it has evenly charred from all the sides, then we will transfer it onto a plate. We will cut off the bud of the onion and the head of the onion. We will chop up the coconut and the onion together, and along with water we will grind it to make a thick paste. This paste is what gives the kala masala its unique flavor as well as its unique taste. Without this you cannot make the kala masala. This is how your kala masala and the special spice mix looks after you have ground it. The mutton has already spent around 45 minutes on the flame and it is almost done. Now we are going to prepare the last part of the gravy, which is why the gravy will get its traditional and characteristic kala color.
I think there was some network problem, so we'll just wait for a minute for others to join, and then we'll continue from the same place where it was stopped. I'll just share my screen again.
The material that we are using will also impart its own unique color and flavor to the dish. Traditionally, the mutton is cooked in a cast iron pot, and that is why we are using a cast iron pot over here as well. It is usually done on a live wood fire. Okay. We call it chool. In Marathi, we call it the chool, which is the traditional Indian clay stove, wherein wood is burnt and the vessels are kept on top. After the masala goes in, we have added some red chili powder. This will add on to the spiciness of the gravy. As I said initially, this particular dish is going to be very, very spicy. So we will be cooking the masala along with the red chili powder. This step is also very important. If we just add the mutton directly into this ready masala now, you will get the raw flavor of the red chili. To avoid that, we will cook the masala thoroughly until the masala starts oozing oil, and then we will be adding in the spice mix. Now these small things do matter a lot. We cannot add the spice mix initially itself into the kala masala, because the spice mix contains ingredients which have been pre-cooked. They have already been cooked. If you add the spice mix at this stage, what will happen is, because we are overcooking the spices, the gravy may turn bitter. To avoid all this from happening, we will wait for the kala masala to cook, that is the oil begins to separate, and only then will we add the ready spice mix. The spice mix is also the ingredient which gives this particular dish its unique flavor. The kala masala gives the color, and the spice mix gives the unique spicy flavor to this dish. Now combine the spice mix with the coconut mixture. Again cook it for a few seconds until the oil separates out completely from the masala. Again make sure that you do not overcook the masala. Once the oil separates out from the masala, then we will add in the mutton, that is the already cooked mutton or the almost cooked mutton, to this particular masala. You can see the oil has completely separated out, and then we will be adding in the mutton to this particular mixture, and we will allow the mutton to incorporate this masala completely. This masala and the mutton, the cooked mutton along with its green mutton, will in combination will give the kala masala its unique flavor. So combine everything properly together. Ideally, we cover the vessel after this thing is done, and then allow the mutton to steam on a very low flame for another 5 to 10 minutes. Combine the masala well and the mutton well. All of this is being done on a low flame. You cannot cook it on a high flame, because the chances of the mutton burning increase a lot or exponentially. So we are doing all of this on a low flame. Keep on mixing the masala properly. You can cover the vessel, and then once the mutton is done, you traditionally serve this particular dish with either boiled rice, or you can serve it with chapati, or you can serve it with some bhakri.
Thank you, Chef Amol, for such unique recipe. A few things from the video that I have to explain. Chef Amol must have talked about Guntur chili and Bedgi chili. Bedgi is a place in Karnataka, so where you get Bedgi chili. Then Guntur is a place in Andhra. And another thing, that is Watan, what Chef mentioned. So Watan is actually the paste or the masala in which the non-veg product, the seafood product, or the vegetables are cooked. So next thing, what we'll be looking at is rodge or rodga, what is called. It is from the Vidarbha region of Maharashtra. Now Vidarbha is from the western part of Maharashtra, eastern part of Maharashtra, northeast part of Maharashtra, and few of the very prominent city over there are Wardha, Gadchiroli, Nagpur, Gondia. These are some of the prominent cities of Vidarbha. Now that place is very close to the central part of India. Okay, so there is a good influence of the central part, like MP over there. So today today you will see the video of rodge with aloo wanga. As you know, in Maharashtra, potato is considered as batata, but there it's called as aloo because of the northern influence over there. So we'll just see the video of now rodge is very similar to the bati, the Rajasthani bati, which is made on charcoal fire for very long time, and then there will be a very oily and a very nice gravy made with potato and brinjal. I'll just share my screen.
Hello everyone, I am Amol Balkaude. I am faculty at IHM Mumbai in the food production department. As part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, we at the college are recreating a few traditional Maharashtrian dishes. The first dish that we are going to make today is a rodge, which is traditionally served with a aloo bengan ka sabzi. Rodge is a dish which is very much similar to the bati which is prepared in the state of Rajasthan. This dish is prepared using wheat flour and then it is cooked over live charcoal. This dish is traditionally served with wanga and batata, that is aloo bengan ka bhaji. The bhaji is going to be very spicy and there is going to be a lot of oil in that bhaji. Rodge is, as I said, comes from the region of Vidarbha, which is towards the north of Maharashtra. So there is a lot of influence from the northern states of Maharashtra in the cuisine of that part. Rodge is served along with the bhaji and along with ghee. These are the ingredients for the rodge. We have whole wheat flour, semolina, salt and oil. These are the ingredients for the aloo wanga bhaji. We have various spices and brinjal and potatoes. Now to make the rodge, we'll take in the whole wheat flour in a bowl or a plate or a tray. To the whole wheat flour, we'll be adding semolina or suji rava. The combination of suji and rava is traditionally used for making the rodge. If you are using some whole wheat flour which has been coarsely ground, the suji can be omitted. For seasoning, we have added salt. We'll be adding little bit of oil to the mixture and we'll be kneading the dough using water. Now here it is absolutely essential that the kneading of the dough be done properly. If the dough is not kneaded well, your rodges will not turn out to be good. So here we are combining the oil and the salt along with the dry ingredients and we are adding or incorporating the water little by little into the dough. The kneading process over here is of essence. It has to be done properly. Once all the flour has absorbed the water, we will actually start the kneading. The first step involves the bringing of the dough together and the second step involves kneading, what you are seeing on the screen right now. Once the dough forms a ball, our kneading process is done. Once the dough has been kneaded well, it forms a ball, then we will cover the dough either with a damp duster or with a lid or as we have shown over here with a cling wrap and will allow the dough to rest for minimum 15 to 20 minutes. We are resting the dough because when we knead the dough, the gluten in the wheat is being worked on. If we immediately use the dough to make the rodge or any roti for that matter, the product will come out to be slightly chewy. That's why the resting period is very important. After the dough has been rested for 15 minutes, we will take the dough out on a work table and roll it out into a cylindrical shape. For the recipe that has been shared with you, we will be making 5 rodges. So here we have divided the dough into 5 portions. Each of the portions then will be rounded up and each rounded portion will be converted into a cylindrical portion. Now from each cylinder, we will be taking out 3 uneven pieces of dough, one slightly smaller, one medium size and one large size. Why we are doing this is because from these individual pieces of dough, we will be getting 3 thick puris and we are going to place the puris one inside the other so that you get a layered rodge. Traditionally, rodge is prepared using this method. But if you are in a hurry, you can just take one single ball of dough, roll it out into a chapati and then you will fold it out like a bati. Here we are showing or following the traditional method wherein we have divided the dough into 3 portions. Each portion of the dough will be flattened out. You can use a rolling pin or you can use your fingertips to flatten out the piece of dough. Each piece of dough is first rolled in flour so that the dough does not stick to the hands as well as the work table. Flatten it out to approximately 3 to 4 millimeter thickness slices or discs. The first one is done, the second one is done. Now we will proceed to the third piece. We'll follow the same procedure for the third piece as well, which is the smallest of the lot. Once all the pieces of dough have been flattened out, then we will cover the dough, or we'll spread some oil in between the dough. Now why are we doing this is so that the pieces of these dough do not stick to one another after they have cooked. So this provides a lamination effect like in a puff pastry. So we are keeping the pieces of dough one on top of the other. Also we'll be sprinkling little bit of seasoned flour, wheat flour on top. Either you can use a sieve for doing this, or you can just sprinkle the flour using a spoon or even your hands. So the flour will be sprinkled on the dough, and then we will place the pieces of the dough one on top of the other. You can do it this way or by using the sieve as we have shown you in the first part of the video. Now we will start off from the smallest piece of the dough and make a modak or a ball out of it. The smallest piece of the dough will go inside the second piece, the medium piece, and will wrap around this piece around the first ball. And then this will be placed on the largest puri and will wrap it around the middle piece. We will convert this into a ball by sealing the edges. We will bring all the edges of the dough together as you are seeing in the video right now, and then you will seal the edges. Once the edges are sealed, then you will roll out this mixture or this dough into a ball. Make sure while doing this that the edges do not open up. Then you will flatten it out slightly so that the dough cooks properly, or the rodge cooks properly. I am using my thumb to flatten out the rodge. And as I said initially, make sure that the seals are properly done. So these are the ready rodge. The rodges will be cooked on live charcoal. We will transfer these rodges on the charcoal. So the charcoal is already burnt over here, and we will be placing the rodges on them. Traditionally, how this dish is cooked is they burn the charcoal, and while the charcoal is cooling down, they place the rodges inside the charcoal and they completely cover the rodges with the burning piece of charcoal, and the cooking process takes anywhere between 1 to 1.5 hours. It's a very, very slow cooking method. Now for making the aloo wangi chi bhaji, we have taken a vessel. In the vessel, we will be adding in the oil. As I said initially, this preparation requires a lot of oil. This preparation will have oil floating on top, which is more commonly known as tarri in Marathi. The dough, the rodge is basically dough. The dough will absorb the oil and hence it will get the flavor. So we are waiting for the oil to heat up. Once the oil heats up, we will be adding in the spices. We will be starting off with mustard, then cumin. Yes, so we are adding the mustard now. Once the mustard seeds begin to crackle, we will add in the cumin seeds, followed by the fenugreek seeds. Now in Indian cooking, the cooking of the spices matters a lot. You have to give each and every spice the time that it requires to cook. You cannot be in a haste or hurry, right? So after mustard, I added in the cumin, followed by the methi or the fenugreek seeds. So these spices have to be cooked properly, making sure that they do not burn, followed by curry leaves, some finely chopped onions, and along with that, we will be adding in some green chilies as well. Once the onions have turned translucent, we will be adding in the ginger garlic paste. You can use a ready-made ginger garlic paste, or you can also prepare fresh ginger garlic paste. You can also use finely chopped ginger and garlic in this particular preparation, because this is a rustic way of preparing this dish. Okay, you can even add finely chopped ginger and garlic. Now we are going to cook the onions until they turn brown in color. Once they turn brown in color, then we will be adding in the powdered masalas. So first goes in the red chili powder, I told you initially that its gravy is going to be very spicy, so we've added extra red chili powder, followed by coriander powder, turmeric powder. Now these masalas are going to be cooked properly without burning them. This preparation is going to be bright red in color. The color is going to come from the red chili as well as these tomatoes, which we are adding to the gravy now. We are going to cook the tomatoes completely until they mash up. You cannot hasten this project or this process. Once the tomatoes have cooked, then we will be adding in the kala masala. The kala masala traditionally is a combination of roasted poppy seeds, roasted sesame seeds, red chilies and various other whole spices. Now I have added some dry coconut powder and these are crushed roasted peanuts. We are going to combine everything together and then we will be adding in the main ingredients of the dish, which is brinjal and potatoes. Brinjal is called as wanga in Marathi, and because I told you initially that this dish is close or comes from the region which is closer to the northern part or central part of India, the aloo, the potato, is called as aloo, whereas in all the other parts of Maharashtra, potato is known as batata. So this comes from the northern part of Maharashtra, so that's why the potato is called as aloo. The brinjals, only the stalks have been trimmed and we have split the brinjals in half, that's it. If you have smaller brinjals, you can add the whole brinjals to the preparation. There is no need even to cut them in half. Just the stalk needs to be trimmed. We will sear the mixture properly. We will combine the masala with the vegetables. And then we will be adding in some hot water. This hot water makes sure that the oil that was added onto the masala begins to float on top. And this is what gives the tarri of the dish. Okay, we are adding some jaggery to the dish for flavor, followed by some finely chopped green coriander. And we will cover the vessel and allow it to cook for anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes. Salt is added for seasoning. We combine the mixture together and then we will cover the vessel and allow it to cook for further 15 to 20 minutes or until the vegetables have completely cooked. So combine them well. See, the oil has already started floating to the top. The flavors of the masala and the gravy will be infused into the vegetables. Cover the vessel completely and after 15 minutes you can notice that the brinjals have changed their color and they have completely softened up. The vegetables are cooked thoroughly and you can see the layer of oil on top. This is the tarri and this is how you serve the rodge along with aloo wanganchi bhaji.
Thank you, Chef Amol, for letting us know the hidden gems of Vidarbha cuisine. The next thing you'll be seeing a video of Jawasuki Chutney. Now, when we talk about Jawasuki Chutney, it's made from flaxseed. Now, as you all know, the flaxseed is very healthy. It has a lot of oil. It has a lot of omega fatty acid, omega fats. So it's very healthy. And now this Jawasuki chutney is made in, or the flaxseed chutney is made in other parts of India also. But in Maharashtra, when we make Jawasuki chutney, it's in dry form. Normally, all the flaxseed chutney you find in the other part of India are in the wet form, where we add oil or we add water and various other spices. And Jawasuki chutney is made in different part of, not specific to any single part of Maharashtra. It's made all over Maharashtra. So I'll just share my screen.
Hello everyone, my name is Chef Manoj Satve. I'm a part of IHM Mumbai. On the occasion of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, I'm starting with a Maharashtrian dish which is known as Jawasuki Chutney. Jawas, which means flax seeds, which is high in omega-3 fatty acid and high in fibers. Traditionally, it is eaten with the addition of oil to be had it with chapati or bhakri.
So these are the ingredients for the Jawas chutney. We'll start off by roasting the flax seeds. The flax seeds will be put in a pan and we're going to roast them on a low flame. The indication that the flax seeds are done is that they begin to pop. This has to be done on a slow flame, otherwise the flax seeds will burn and your chutney will get a bitter flavor. You have to keep on continuously turning the flax seeds to prevent them from burning. Once the flax seeds have heated up and they have been roasted, we'll transfer them onto a plate and then we'll allow the flax seeds to cool down. It's absolutely essential that the flax seeds be allowed to cool down, because if you grind the hot flax seeds, you'll end up with a paste instead of a powder. So the flax seeds have been removed on a plate and we have cooled them down. Now we'll combine all the ingredients together for the chutney in a bowl. The flax seeds will be transferred in a bowl. All the flax seeds have to be utilized. Because flax seeds are high in oil, you will see that a few of the flax seeds are sticking to the silicone spatula as well over here. To transfer them all without wasting any flax seeds into the bowl, and then we will be adding in the other ingredients for the chutney to the flax seeds. The other ingredients over here are red chili powder, amchur powder and salt. The amount of red chili powder depends on how spicy you like your chutney to be. Ideally, this chutney is very mild flavored. The predominant flavor of this chutney has to be of the flax seed. So the red chili goes in, salt goes in and the amchur powder. Combine all these ingredients together and then we will grind this to a very fine powder in the mixer. This is how your chutney looks like. When you're eating this chutney, we ideally combine the chutney with oil and make a paste out of it. This paste is traditionally applied onto chapati or bhakri and the chutney is eaten that way. The amount of oil also depends on your personal preference. Some people like adding a lot of oil to this chutney, some people like adding little bit of oil in the chutney. So depending on your preference, you may add how much ever oil you like to eat. Ideally, this is how the chutney should look like after adding the oil to it. Now you can spread the chutney onto the chapati and have it. This is how.
Thank you, Chef Amol and Chef Manoj. Now, there's a big part of Maharashtra which receives less rainfall. So you'll find a lot of grains being consumed in Maharashtra, which is unlike in other parts of India. Other parts of India, you'll just find the northern part or the central part, you'll just find wheat as a major ingredient. Maharashtra, you find a lot of grains like jawar, bajra. Chef Amol had mentioned about bhakri. Now, bhakri is made with rice flour, can be made with jawar, can be made with bajra. Okay, or a lot of multi-grains can be used for making bhakri. So the next, these grains require less rainfall or less water to grow than the wheat. So the last video we'll be looking at. This video, the name is sirole with aniras. So it's made with rice flour. Now sirole is like rice noodles, okay, or you can say it look like idiyappam. And this is made with rice flour, which is cooked with hot water, and then it's boiled in hot water, and then it's removed from the idiyappam mold or the chakli mold, okay, and then it's served with ras. Now this ras is made with thick coconut extract and some jaggery. So the next video, a very interesting video, you'll see how this sirore, which is from Konkan region of or the coastal region of Maharashtra, how it is made. Now, being the coastal region of Maharashtra, two things which are very common or very you will find in abundance is rice and coconut, and both are used for making of sirore with aniras. I'll just share my screen.
Hello everyone, I am Amol Balkawade. I am a faculty in the Food Processing Department at IHM Mumbai. On the occasion of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, we at the college are recreating a few traditional Maharashtrian dishes. As part of this, today I am going to showcase a dish which is known as shirwale ani ras. The shirwale is basically rice noodles, and this dish comes from the Konkan region of Maharashtra. Because it comes from the coastal region, there is a prevalence of rice as well as coconut in the cuisine, and both these ingredients are used for making this dessert. The rice noodles will be served with coconut milk, and the coconut milk is going to be sweetened with jaggery. Now let's see how the dish is prepared. These are the ingredients for the ras. We have some thick coconut milk extract, to which we will be adding in some jaggery and cardamom powder. For making the shirole, we will be taking equal proportions by volume of fine rice flour and water. The water will be brought to a boil, and then to the water we will be adding salt. To this hot water we will be adding in the rice flour. The rice flour over here is very finely ground. Once the rice flour has been added to the water, we will combine the rice flour thoroughly well with the water. This will take a good few minutes. Make sure that the rice flour gets equally and properly incorporated into the water. A wooden spoon can be used for doing this job. As the wooden spoon does not conduct heat, it will be easier to manage the mixing of the rice flour with the water this way. Once you are done with the mixing of the rice flour with the water, you will switch off the gas and cover the vessel with a lid, and you will allow the rice flour mixture to steam in its own steam for a further 10 minutes. As you can see, the mixture has been combined well, and now we have covered the vessel. After 10 minutes, we will transfer the rice water mixture onto a work table or a tray or a large thali, and we are going to knead this. If you feel that the mixture is slightly dry, you can add a bit more of warm water. You have to be slightly careful while doing this job because the water as well as the rice mixture is going to be hot. Combine the rice well and get it to a smooth dough consistency. Depending on the consistency of the flour, you will add less or more water. In some instances, you may not even require to add any extra water. It all depends on the quality and the type of the rice. So now we are kneading the mixture thoroughly to combine everything together so that a dough is formed. The kneading over here is extremely important. If the kneading is not done properly, few pieces and particles of the rice flour will remain still in the properly made dough or improperly made dough, which will lead to improper results. Your noodles, the rice noodles, will not come out properly. So this step is absolutely essential when you are making shirwale. So shirwale can be called as shirwale, or it is also pronounced as shirole. Once you are done with the dough, you will divide the dough into 2 or 3 manageable pieces and will roll it out into cylindrical pieces. These cylindrical pieces will further be cut or divided into small manageable pieces. We are using a dough scraper for this. You can also use a knife or even a flat spoon for doing this particular job. All the dough has to be utilized. Once the dough has been cut into manageable size pieces, then we are going to cook the dough in a pot of boiling water. To this water, we have not added any salt because we have already added salt while making the rice dough. The indication that the rice mixture is cooked is that the rice balls or the cylinders of rice will start floating to the top of the water. It will take anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes for the rice balls or the cylinders of rice to cook thoroughly. As you can notice, all the pieces of the rice dough are floating on the top of the surface. We'll transfer the pieces of dough onto a plate, and to check whether the dough is cooked or no, you can use a knife. The equipment which you are seeing right now on the screen is the one which will be used to extrude the noodles. Here you can see that the knife is going through and through the dough mixture, and the knife is coming out clean. No part of the dough is sticking to the knife. So now we'll transfer the cylinders of rice into the machine or this equipment, which is also known as the chakli maker, and we are extruding the rice noodles out onto a banana stalk. This is the stalk from the plant, the banana plant, and from the stalk we slide it over onto banana leaves. This is how it is traditionally done. You can also make these shirwade or shirole into circles or roundels. Now we will be making the ras part of the dish. For the ras, we will be combining the coconut milk with the jaggery. The jaggery has already been chopped up so that it combines well with the coconut milk. And to this mixture, we will be also adding some cardamom powder. Cardamom powder is optional. Cardamom powder will impart a good aroma to the dish. We are going to combine all these things thoroughly until the jaggery has completely dissolved into the coconut mixture. Again, this will take a good 10-15 minutes. Now, once the jaggery gets melted or dissolved into the coconut mixture, we can serve the shirole with the ras. The shirole are dipped into the ras and eaten.
Thank you, Chef Amol, for introducing something not very popular from Konkan region, because almost everything from Konkan region is so popular. So finding out something which is not as popular as the other things like Komri Vare. Okay, so thank you for that. So all these videos, okay, so when we got the assignment, as I already said, it was a very difficult task to find or give justice to the such a huge and a beautiful state like Maharashtra. So the video part, so the cooking part is mainly done by Chef Amol, Chef Manoj Satve, and Chef Ankit Pillai, and the video part is done by video, and the photos are taken by Chef Ankit, and the editing part is done by Chef Ankit, Chef Sneha, and Chef Satya, under the guidance of our principal in charge and our HOD also, Neelam Nadkar madam. So I thank all of you, okay, who have seen all this video very patiently. So this, so by this we come to the end of the masterclass part of our Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav or the National Tourism Day. This year the theme is Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Last year it was Dekho Apna Desh. In 2021 it was Dekho Apna Desh. This year it is Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Now Amruta madam will talk about India and its diversity with a video presentation. So over to Amruta madam. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Santosh, for your kind words and for the nice presentation that we saw just now. As of now, we're going to move on and speak about something known as the main day today, which is National Tourism Day. We're going to talk about that. Is National Tourism Day, which is celebrated on the 25th of January as planned by the government. Is the idea behind it is to spread awareness about the importance of tourism in India. Okay, India is a country of rich cultural heritage, and it's a melting pot of various cultures, religions, languages, castes, as well as way of life. Such diversity makes India a very prime attraction for tourists, not just from India, but also when I talk about that, we are also focusing on tourists from all over the world. And India as a country does not only focus on foreign nationals visiting here. Yes, we do make sure that we keep account on that, and we want to make sure that we become a global power by competing with the best other nations, so that using tourism it can help us out. But we also have programs. The government also uses programs wherein our domestic travelers also get a chance, and they experience India in a much better way. Even we as Indians, whenever we travel to different places, we are in for a surprise. That is because when we travel to every nook and corner of our country and experience something which is very different from our otherwise usual life experiences. Every time we travel to a different place across India, we learn a lot about its culture, the art, the history, and many other aspects of a place which otherwise we wouldn't have found out if you had just read about them. Taking a cue from the song called Mile Sur Mera Tumhara, which I'm sure most of us have heard earlier. It was released by the government in 1988, where the main focus was on national integration and unity in diversity. We at IIT Mumbai have, with the contribution of our students, faculty, as well as our administration department, have made a short video. It's a video montage which showcases people of from different places in India, and they are the ones who actually make India, and we are going to see how people from different places in India wear traditional outfits and in their apparels, and we'll see how it is. And please allow me to share my screen, and I'll take a minute to do that. Give me a minute. I'm sorry, the video is not working. I'm just stopping my video. Give me a second. Yeah. I hope the video is visible. I'll start sharing it, playing it now. Thank you for your patience. We would like to thank you for taking out your time and attending both the sessions that we had planned for you yesterday as well as today under the aegis of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav and National Tourism Day for today. And we look forward to conducting such sessions again, and hopefully, obviously, in your presence and not just online. And I hope you enjoy the sessions as much as we did organizing them for you. And I would like to thank you, and I wish you a very happy day. And I would like to wish everyone a happy Republic Day in advance. And I hope we meet you all very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for your presence. Though we hoped the physical presence of all of you, but we cannot help in this Corona environment. So being we are celebrating National Tourism Day. Now, India is a country which has a huge hidden potential. Okay, when we talk about India, we have everything. We have ice, we have water, we have forest, we have mountains. So we have almost everything what world can offer. So India has a huge potential in forest tourism, then adventure tourism, medical tourism. You just name it, and we have that. Okay, just it need to be tapped. And we, as a hospitality professional, we have huge responsibility on us. So today we just make a pledge that, as our ancient text says, the two things we have to remember, and then we can excel in hospitality and the tourism. Two things that we have to say: one, Atithi Devo Bhava, guest is always right. And second thing is Vasudev Kutumbakam. The entire world is ours. Okay, we are all brothers and sisters. So the whole world, we consider the whole world as ours, and they have to consider the same to us. So with these two lines, okay, I'll say a big thank you to all for attending this, all the students, all the faculty, our principal in charge, ma'am. So thank you very much, and we hope to get more sessions like this. Thank you very much.